Fun fact, did you know that a Hawaiian pizza without pineapples on it is just a ham and cheese pizza? Anyway, in the last episode, we promised that we might be able to answer the infinite question on whether or not the pineapple belongs on a pizza. And to be honest, we're not even going to debate that in this episode because we do not know the answer. But we will tell you this. The fruit in discussion, the pineapple, is at the center point of today's episode. We traveled from the high-tech concrete jungle of the Lusaka South MFEZ zone to the rain-drenched Ikelenge in northwestern province, the home of the Kalene Hills pineapples. This region is a major yet remote producer of one of Zambia's highest quality, sweetest pineapples. Despite high quality, the fruit's immense perishability, with a shelf life of only 2 to 3 days at room temperature, means farmers are forced to sell it raw at extremely low gate prices to avoid total loss. And this limits the financial circulation in the local economy. Processing stabilizes local farming income and creates resilience against global commodity price swings, anchored by the geographical advantage. Raw pineapple exports are nearly impossible due to the short shelf life of 5 to 7 days refrigerated, which is still too risky for long-haul logistics, which leads to, once again, minimal returns. Processing increases value per kilogram exponentially, often by 300 to 500%. The processing plant creates price stability for the farmers, offering a guaranteed, consistent contract price, which de-risks farming and encourages investment. The Kalene Hills advantage is as follows. This region is geographically exceptional for this crop, and it's for several reasons. Number one, it's the climate. It is one of the highest rainfall areas in Zambia, providing the water needed for the high volume quality fruit. Number two is the soil. Pineapples require highly acidic, porous and well-drained soils to prevent root rot. The reddish, sandy loam soils of Ikelenge are naturally acidic with a pH of 4.5 to 5.5, and it offers perfect drainage, which yields fruit with superior sweetness and lower acidity than pineapples from other regions. And of course, there's government policy alignment. This initiative directly addresses a core government goal: decentralizing industrial activity. Kalene Hills shows how policy support can activate economic hubs in remote rural areas. Success model that has been implemented in Kalene Hills, it emphasizes on two things: its social impact and circular economy approach. It has introduced zero waste processing. You see, this facility invested not only in industrial dryers for high-value snacks, but also in machinery to utilize the rest of the plant. And then there are high-value byproducts that are created thanks to this, which includes the extraction of pineapple leaf fiber, PALF, the waste leaves that are typically burned for use in sustainable non-woven textiles and alternatives to animal leather, like Pinatex. This opens up high fashion and automotive market. The remaining fruit, pomace, which are the peel and the core, are utilized for animal feed supplements or biogas generation, driving the goal of a circular zero-waste economy. Crucially, the plant's employment focuses heavily on women for sorting, cutting, and packaging roles. This processing requires meticulous, reliable labor. In rural Zambia, when women gain reliable income, they typically invest 80 to 90% of it directly back into the household in nutrition, health, and school fees, making them the primary engine pulling families out of poverty. And I'm happy that this is happening, but shame on us, man, by the way, it needs to change. And there's some key metrics of success here. The plant now employs approximately 150 people directly and supports over 1,200 smallholder pineapple farmers through structured offtake agreements. With the average rural Zambian household size being around 7 people, this program directly and indirectly benefits roughly 8,400 to 9,000 individuals in the local economy. In order to focus and showcase the human element and the supply chain mechanics, let me focus on a case study here. Specifically, let's look at the farmer. Let's look at Mrs. Lumbetta. Before the plant, she lost 30% of her crop to spoilage and price volatility. Now, with a guaranteed buyer and stable prices, she has been able to send her child to university or invest in a small motor pump. This shows the real-world impact of value addition. Let's look at the supply chain. The biggest hurdle is logistics. The processed product must travel from Ikelenge, which is deep in northwestern province, to port. And the importance of connecting roads, such as previously discussed in episode 5, and the necessity of strategic infrastructure are a must. Enter the Lobito corridor. It is the closest major link for exporting this product to the European and American market, providing a significantly faster route to the Atlantic coast compared to traditional southern corridors. The corridor's success is vital for making products like Kalene Hills dried pineapple globally competitive. So let me ask you this. The success of the pineapple is clear. What other low-value raw materials, be it mangoes, cassava, or groundnuts, do you think the government should prioritize for the immediate local value addition? And tell us why. I look forward to reading your comments on this. We spoke about the Hawaiian pizza with the pineapple on it. And in as much as I love the pineapple and its diversity, because you can use the pineapple not only to eat, but also its skin for leather. However, unfortunately, that is not enough, because a monoculture is of course a risk. Imagine something happens that causes all your crops to die, then your entire livelihood is gone. So it is very important to move away from monoculture and implement other crops that can be used in the same field in terms of rotation or addition. In this case, maybe avocados or whatever other fruit or vegetable that can thrive in an acidic environment. The other risk is climate change. We've mentioned this before, and El Nino is something that is here to stay. And of course, the weather patterns change because of that, and there's more drought. So how does this risk the pineapples in Kalene Hills? Well, there's a bit of good news. Of course, there's a higher rainfall pattern in Kalene Hills already, but also the pineapple itself is resistant to drought and heat in the short term. So that because of that, there's a natural adaptation, which is called CAM photosynthesis. And this unique metabolic process allows it to open its pores only at night to conserve water, making it a resilient crop for future climate scenarios in Zambia. So, about pineapple on pizza. It divides people globally, but the one thing we can all agree on is that the value of the fruit is worth fighting for. The processing plant in Kalene Hills ensures that a piece of Zambian agricultural excellence in dried, concentrated, or candied form is being sold globally, locking in value right here at home. Kalene Hills proves that industrialization is not just about mega factories. It's about adding a simple process to local resources to unlock global markets and stabilize rural livelihoods. In our next episode, we return to the big picture and dive into the single most important piece of infrastructure needed to connect all of these regional value chains. And that is the revitalization of the Tazara railway line, turning a historical relic into an economic engine. In our next episode, we will stay in Northwestern Province because we will move slightly up the road back to Kalumbila, where we talk about the MFEZ in that region. Stay tuned and see you in the next one.